We are comprehensively delighted to have with us today Elizabeth Currid, Assistant Professor of Public Policy at Southern California. And our aim today is to discuss her new book, The Warhol Economy, How Fashion, Art, and Music Drive New York City. And this is your first book, is that right?
Yes, my first and only book so far.
Okay, and already an endorsement from Quincy Jones.
Yes.
So I think most people who would stumble across this book and would see the title would have an inkling of what you're talking about. But why don't you describe for us what you mean by the Warhol economy?
Andy Warhol, I think more than anyone else, understood the relationship between creative industries. It's not that we just have fashion or music or art, but that these are industries that interact with each other all the time and also collaborate all the time and produce cultural products that are hybrids. And in Warhol's factory, he very much knew that, whether it was his transformation of Brillo boxes into an art form, or whether it was his ability to kind of create a sort of democratic art form that included lowbrow with highbrow. Mm-hmm. So he understood this confluence. But another thing that Warhol understood was the importance of the social milieu in the production of culture. And this is most vividly seen in his factory, where he both produced art and had these amazing parties where people of all different walks of life, so you had people like Mick Jagger, or you had Candy Darling or Edie Sedgwick, who were they were cultural producers of a variety of different forms, all spending time together. And that in many ways that scene, that cultural scene, actually validated Warhol and his work. And so he understood that relationship between creating a social milieu that often acts as a catalyst for creating art and for validating it.
Would there be any other explicit figures coming after Warhol that we would identify with? I mean, one thing's of David Byrne as someone who is sort of a polymath involved in visual arts and in music, and someone who enjoyed commercial success. And sort of, he would be one. Are there others that we could think about?
Oh, sure. Now, in different ways. Mm-hmm. So if you look at someone like even Beyonce, the mm-hmm. hip-hop artist, who is a musician, she's an actress, she has her own clothing line. Even someone like Paris Hilton has realized this ability to create different products from the same original cultural starting point. And so whether you think that their products are good or not is a different conversation. Mm-hmm. But the fact is that more and more we see these cultural figures, these prominent cultural figures in society, translating their status or their expertise in one field into various different cultural forms.
Right.
And these other cultural forms are validated by virtue of the fact that they were really good at something else.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the word economy.
Okay.
Trace for us the scale of this economy. How is it an economy, and sort of measure it against sort of more conventional economies with which we're familiar?
Okay. So I think for most people, when you think about an economy, it's how many jobs are produced, mm-hmm. How much money is being generated, mm-hmm. What is being produced. So in that sense, the cultural economy spans, fashion, art, music, design, and other types of cultural production, and that if you look at how much these industries contribute to New York's economy, for example, as in the case of the book, we see that they contribute thousands and thousands of jobs. So when I looked at census data, New York City's cultural industries are the fourth largest employer of all industries in New York City. They've also been the third largest employer. So we're looking at 60 years of consistently being an important contributor to New York's economy. So another way of looking at an economy is the revenue it brings. I mean, how much money is being generated by these industries? And if you look at New York City's cultural industries, you're dealing with millions and millions and millions of dollars that are being generated now, both in the actual goods that are being produced and also in the spillover effect of the fact that people come to New York to, say, see a Broadway show, and then they go out to dinner, and then they go shopping too, and then they stay in a hotel. And so there's this constant sort of, it's hard to actually quantify how much these industries are contributing to New York's economy, but they are doing so not in isolation. And so I think that those are traditional ways of understanding them. And when I say economy, I think that we're also looking at the boundaries. So I'm dealing in particular with the industries that produce culture, the creative industries, and so what they, when you look at them on their own, what they contribute to the broader New York City economy. But them in themselves are an economy. The other thing that I think distinguishes it and why you would say it's the Warhol economy, or these are industries in a cultural economy, is the fact that their social and economic dynamics and characteristics are different. So what distinguishes them from finance or from professional services or medicine? And this is where sort of the heart of the book is that they are unique because these are taste-driven products and services. And so the mechanisms by which they gain value or the way that they actually engage the market is vastly different from a financial product or any product that you can evaluate on its performance. And so that's why I think that you can call it a cultural economy, because it's unique in how it behaves, and also it's unique in its contribution to the city. So you can measure it on its own.
Right, so the primary revenue generated by a creative economy is significant in its own right, but it has this incidental attraction, which it affords cities, and brings people there, whether to visit as tourists, and presumably New York is a force of gravity for someone, weighing a job offer in Manhattan or Milwaukee, and may choose Manhattan just because of the artistic enrichment sort of anticipated by living there.
Absolutely. So you're onto something. There's kind of two camps here. Is that you have scholars who look at cultural amenities, and they say cultural amenities are important because they attract high human capital from other industries. So financiers who can go all around the world, they go to places where there are cultural amenities for them. So in that respect, that's how cultural industries work. And then you have another camp which would say, hey, that's true, but they're also really important in their own right. So it's not just that they attract people, but they actually generate income and jobs, like as they stand alone, and we need to take them seriously as that too.